In this video, we learn how to draw different patterns. So the first pattern we have taken over here is this one. In this we have first row we have 1, then in second row we have 1 and 2, followed by in third row we have 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2, 3, 4, and in last we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, depending on the value of n. Okay, so now if we have this type of question, the first step we do is we mark the I counter, j counter, and the nth counter also. Okay, so first of all I'll make this grid. Okay, so here the I is taken for row. You can also interchange if you want. Okay, so this I over here is for row. Okay, and here we take j, that is for column. Okay, so I for row and j for column. So as you can see over here we have 5 rows. So this is first row, this is second, this is third row, this is fourth row, and this one is the fifth row. Okay, and here fifth is the number n. Okay, so if we are given n is equals to 6, then we need to print till 6 rows, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, now if we talk about j, here we can clearly see that j is going from 1 to 1, then in second row the j is going from 1 to 2, then in third row j is going from 1 to 3, in fourth row 1 to 4, and in fifth row this is 1 to 5. Okay, so if we talk about I, as I starting from 1, so here we'll write that I is equals to 1 up to n terms, as you can see here, and we are going till 5, that is n, so up 1 to n, and we are incrementing the value of I. That means in first row I was 1, then it become 2, so it is incremented by 1 in each iteration. Okay, so yeah. Okay, now if we talk about j, we can say here, if we talk about j, so j is also starting from 1 up to I. As you can see here, j is going from 1 to 1. So in each row j is starting from 1 each time, but it is going up till I. So here we have j is equals to 1 to I, and also will increment j. So j plus plus. Okay, so here we have n rows, that means 5 input. Okay, so this is our logic. Now we'll move towards the program. Okay, so here I'll make a new class, that is pattern. Okay, and I'll save it in this Java code folder, that is pattern.java. Okay, so now we have the main function, that is public static void main, and the string type argument inside it. Okay, now as we need 3 variables I, j and n, so I'll take 3 int-type variables, that is I, j and n. As in this case we are taking n is equals to 5. Okay, now we have the while loop, that is first of all the outer I loop. As you can see here, the outer loop is I, that is for the rows is the outer loop. Sorry. Okay, so as we know that the syntax of while loop is somewhat like this, that is the nested while loop. First of all we have the initialization, then the while loop. Okay, so we'll have the initialization, that is I is equals to 1, as our logic stated. Okay, okay, so here you can see in this logic that the I is equals to 1 to n. So we initialized I is equals to 1. Then we have the while loop with the condition that I should be less than n equals to n. So here we have I less than equals n. As you can see here, I was going till n. So we have I less than equals n. Then in this while loop, we have the next while, in this while loop, one more thing which we need to mention, that is I plus plus, that is the increment and decrement. And now if we talk about the another while loop inside it, that is for the j loop. First we initialize j is equals to 1. Then we have this while loop in the condition that j is equals less than equals I. So j less than equals I, and then we'll increment j. Okay, now what we need to print, as you can see here, the printing is 1 then 1 2. So we'll print here j. So we have system dot out dot println, okay, and the value of j. Okay, now why did I choose j to be printed? Just suppose if I printed over here I, so my output would be somewhat like this. Okay, my output would be somewhat like this: 1, then in next row we'd have 2, then 2, then in next row we'll have 3, 3, 3. Somewhat like this our output would be. Okay, so if I want my output to be the one printed here, this one, then I need to print j, as the j is the inner loop and we want to print it. Okay, so now we'll save this. And also after coming out of this while loop, we need to print a line change, that is system.out.println. Okay, why I did this? Because I want that after each inner loop of j is printed, my line should change when the j is again printing itself. When the j is again initializing itself, then before that the line should change. So that's why I have changed the line after coming out of the j while loop. Okay, so I'll just save this, and when we'll compile this, that is javac pattern.java, then we'll run it, that is java pattern. The main method, the public static void main string argument. Just a second, we'll again run this pattern string args. Now if I save this and then if we again run this, so here you can see I got the output as 1, then 1 2, 1 2 3. But you can see over here that this output is not resembling to the one I told you guys. Okay, so what did we do? Just see here. I've just put it here, that is the change line. So we need to remove this as we want this to be in a one go. So that's why now I'll again save the program and we'll run this again, compile, and then we'll run it. So we got the desired output, that is 1 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 4. If you want that spaces should be printed also, so we'll concatenate space after we print j each time. Okay, so here's our perfect output. Okay, that's it for this video. In the next video we'll learn some more patterns and how to solve them using the while loop. Thank you.